outside the iconic opera house here in Odessa. As you can see, the weather has changed since yesterday when I did my live stream on the main channel. And I'm going to give you 3 things to look out for this week in the Russo-Ukrainian war coming up. Vladimir Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, is going to be in Berlin. He is also planning to go to Warsaw, in fact, but basically he's going to be liaising between European leaders, so Friedrich Merz, Macron, Starmer, and the negotiation team, the dream team, that is Stevie Witkoff and Jared Kushner, and they will be discussing what's an effect from the American side, capitulation plan in the medium to long term for Ukraine to help Russia basically win. And that is not going to be accepted. If you watch my channel, you know my thoughts about this whole negotiation process. It is basically a bit of a charade. I don't see either side signing on, but there will be lots of developments, lots of news headlines that come out of it about what Ukraine is doing, and the media will put spin on stuff. If Zelensky or someone else in the Ukrainian side agrees to discuss something, at the moment they are working on a new plan. We've seen a 28-point plan. We've heard about a 20-point plan. It is a little bit of a sideshow, but this is the main diplomatic effort that will be going on this week. Donald Trump has given a new deadline of Christmas for peace in Ukraine, and I don't see that happening whatsoever. He previously had a deadline of Thanksgiving, very hard deadline. Here we are already in the cold of December, and obviously infamously at this point he boasted on the campaign trail that he would solve the Russo-Ukrainian war in a day, even before it was inaugurated. But reality has been a lot more difficult than what you can campaign on as a politician. So that is the first thing. Second thing to look out for is what is happening on the front lines. In spite of many headlines claiming that Ukraine is about to collapse, it doesn't look that way. If you see what's going on in Kupiansk, for example, Ukraine basically took back the city in the last few days. Vladimir Zelensky actually went there and did a selfie video, a bit like I'm doing now. He just didn't do it live so he wouldn't get hit by the Russians, presumably. And he was there in front of the sign for Kupiansk on this stele that was badly damaged, but it was on the edge of the city, and there are still a small number of Russian forces still inside, encircled. And it's ironic because Vladimir Putin actually gave a medal to the commander of the Russian forces there for his achievement of capturing Kupiansk, and already a few weeks ago. So already that's been taken back. There is, of course, very intense fighting going on in the Pokrovsk-Mirohrad conurbation. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Russia has been putting up flags in the center, filming videos, and we've seen in the last 2 months many reversals of Russian gains. So we will have to see what happens, whether Russia actually really captures properly Mirohrad and Pokrovsk, or they are actually just there temporarily and end up encircled again, is what happened in Kupiansk. So that is the second thing to look out for. And the third thing is what's going on here, because we have no electricity for the last 2 days in Odessa. Russia has been striking our energy infrastructure here once again. And yeah, it's probably the worst I've seen the blackouts since the winter of 2022. That was the first winter with this extended invasion by Russia that they launched in February 2022. So pretty tough conditions here in the sense for the civilian population, without electricity. A lot of people are without water, without heat, and obviously it's pretty cold here. So that is part of the targeting of civilians by Moscow, by Vladimir Putin. And even before Friday, it was on and off the electricity here, same in Kyiv, the capital. But now it's obviously a lot worse in the short run, so we'll have to see how long that takes to get fixed and whether Russia just keeps attacking the energy infrastructure. They also hit a ship in the port on Friday afternoon. It was a Turkish vessel, and that was presumably doing some trade. I can't remember if it was grain or what it was supposed to be transporting, but it was hit, and that was on the afternoon that Vladimir Putin had met with Turkish leader Erdogan. So quite interesting that they blow up a Turkish ship, or they hit a Turkish ship with a missile here in the port. So expect more infrastructure attacks from both sides, but a bit different. Ukraine is targeting the oil sector, Russia's exports, their shadow fleet that's illegally transporting cargo out of Russia in violation of sanctions. They've decided to pose their own sanctions, so they're targeting that, while Russia's targeting the civilian population, trying, I guess, to apply psychological pressure so that they give up and become part of Russia, basically. So that is their strategy. There are the three things to look out for. And drop your comments down below if there's anything that you think I missed that was super important. And I will be back tomorrow with a video. I'm not sure if I'll be shooting indoors, only if we have electricity back. On that note, Slava Ukraini, Rom Slava, do перемоги.